Hey guys, Mark Robinson here. Hey, this is the bonus video that I spoke about, and I'm going to answer all the questions that I got, and I've got quite a few here. What I like the most though is it seems that there's a good flavor amongst the questions. You all seem to have very similar questions, which is fantastic, yeah? So the setting today is literally at my barbecue table at home, and I thought, what better way to just have a conversation. And because, if you were here sitting next to me, look, without a doubt, we probably have at least 1 or 2 beers, if not 3 or 4. And we would just be having a general conversation about, what is it, what you could ask me any question that you like. That's basically what it is about today. So look, I'm going to run through these, and I'm actually going to run through every single one of them. At least 10 or so of them are exactly the same. There could be, the neighbours could go off any minute. In fact, I think every neighbour around me has got a bloody swimming pool bar us. So, might hit the landlord up with that. So let's crack on. One of the very first questions I got was, would you recommend investing in silver or gold, right? Now, the cool thing about it is the fact that, I don't own any any silver personally, but I love the fact that, to own real gold. So I started my gold purchasing through what they call unallocated, which means that I've got gold, but it doesn't have my name on it. So without a doubt, look, I think you buy gold. It's a good, I think it's a good insurance policy, and I just like the fact that it's real, it's solid. I've just recently moved my gold portfolio into what they call allocated gold, and basically what that means is, I have gold, it sits in the mint, and it has our name on it. Does that make sense? In reality, it has our trust name on it, not mine. And I always joke about it. The reason why I don't have it at home is because I reckon Billy would get a potato peeler and just peel shaves of gold off it and turn up with a nice new ring at some point. Yeah, she's over there going amen. So look, I think everything is, would I put my whole portfolio? I wouldn't put my whole portfolio into one single asset class, but definitely like the idea of buying gold. And that's something we can talk about. All right, so if the next question, which wasn't asked but was attached to that, how do we go about doing that? Yeah, by all means we can share and show you how to do that. Here's a really good one. How to make fast dollars, build assets while leveraging equity. Fantastic question, right? And I believe that there's a lot of people out there that are sitting on what I would call lazy assets. And lazy assets to me are assets that are not working to their absolute optimal. And that could be, for example, if you've got a $500,000 house and you owe $200 on it, is basically around, without going too leveraged, there's about $200,000 of what they call equity, right? And what I mean by I like to go no more than 80%, okay? Some cases, depending on your age, we can go leveraged as high as 95, 98, even 100%. Got no dramas with that, right? But if we went on a $500,000 house, the max you should borrow against that is $400. You owe the bank $200. You've got $200,000 that you could actually go to the bank and get, and then we could go out and do other investments, yeah? And that's what I would call a lazy asset. So easily way to do that is, I think you've got to think about the term fast, right? Because to me, we are making fast cash on some of our investments, like our auto trading, for example. We made 10% last week alone, and that's fantastic. And I'm not saying that that's what you're going to make every time you do the auto trading and that sort of stuff. And to me, that's fast cash. But I think there's a difference between fast cash and fast/safe cash, because I think you could go to the casino tomorrow, dump 50 grand on red, and you're either going to make fast cash or you're going to lose fast cash, yeah? And I'm not telling you to go to the casino and dump 50 grand on red. What I want you to do though is start to get to understand that if you put the foundations in place, like we've discussed, going out and buying wholesale properties where you're actually making equity straight away, you got the 4-share strategy in place, you start getting stuff that I'm going to talk a lot about in my next video about getting your goals sorted, your mindset right, all that sort of stuff. If you've got that in place, to me, fast cash happens anyway. I'm hoping that makes sense, and I hope that answered your question. Passive income, how do you create it? Look, I mean, I believe I'm very, very, very good at creating passive income. Like I said in my last video, we've built 3 companies last year. One of them's already at a $5,000 per week passive. You know, I Skype. Well, it seems to be nearly, you know, about half an hour every day with my business partners in that. But all we're doing is literally just doing that. We're just Skyping, talking. We're actually talking a lot of shit, to be honest with you. We're just having a bucket load of fun. But passive income, to me, you know, you've got to have some sort of activeness around that for that passive income to truly continue. Yeah. And I'll give you an example. I mean, one of my businesses, we had an income of about $240,000, and when I restructured, that's $240 a year. Effectively, what happened with that income is it's dwindled because we haven't touched it for about 8 years now, and I think it's down to about 40 grand a year. You know, so from 240 down to 40, and that's because we just literally just set it aside and said, you know what, that's not part of our long-term strategy anymore, and it does go away. So I don't think there's truly a passive where you never have to touch something again. You know, the shares, you know, getting the dividends and that, yep, without a doubt. However, I think you still need to be looking at it and seeing what those portfolios are doing so that you can ultimately, you know, either increase them or just make sure they are going to last as long as possible. Oh, I wish that was a beer right now. That'll do. So how to make something from nothing. How on earth do you find the good deals? Who do you trust and not trust? So there was a good theme around that trust and not trust, and I'm going to get into that question around a bit later on. But look, how do you make something from nothing? The bottom line is it actually is quite easy to do, because what you've got to do first and foremost is know where it is you want to go and know what it is or where you are right now, because there's a thing that I call net investable income. And the bottom line is I believe that everybody could find at least $50, if not $100 or more per week, that they could then turn around and invest. And that to me is making something from nothing as easy as you possibly can. You know, like a lot of the things that I do, I build businesses from nothing, and they become assets, and then we leverage off those assets, and then we go again and we go again and we go again. So you can make something from nothing. The biggest key that I find is having the right team around you so that you can actually then leverage and build off that, you know, and that's what I love, and that's what I've created, and that's what I have, and that's the buzz that I get out of bed every morning, knowing that my team's doing what they should be doing. Or if I need a legal question answered, I can just tap an email out or get on the phone, you know, accounting question, super fun question. I have got these resources next to me at my disposal, and it's fantastic. And I actually do share those with my clients, and, you know, I'll show you how you can get access to those as well. So how on earth do you find the good deals? Look, I think that relates back to my answer about having that team around you. By far, you know, I've got experts in every area, and if I want a deal, I just ring them up and say, man, I'm chasing this, you know, this asset, whatever it may be, needs to achieve this goal for my clients. And basically that's what they do. They're the ones that are so passionate about finding the deals. They're the ones who are going to get out there and just kick some serious goals, and they're the ones who are going to find it for you. I mean, if you've got the time, you know, and you've got the skill set as well, you need the time and the skill set to be able to achieve this, then you'll be able to do it, right? And you can do it yourself. But I tell you what, when I, you know, I was looking back and I was thinking about a lot of these answers before. If you truly want to do it yourself, and I'll give you an example. We've been building this membership site now, and it's been at least 6 months, and we, I don't know, I had a brain fart or whatever, and I said, you know what, we need to do it ourselves, blah, 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 blah. So 6 months later, we've got 3 attempts of half-assed membership sites, right, that are just serving nobody. one of my experts, he rings me up and says, Mark, you know what, my skill set now, I've just realized is membership sites. This is what we're doing, bang, bang, bang. Long story short, within a 24-hour period, we will have the membership site that we've wanted, and it'll only take 3 weeks. So, you know, if you want to go and spend the next 10 years building your wealth, go for it. And you want to do it by yourself, man, have fun, you know, because I can tell you it's not a lot of fun doing it by yourself. If you want to speed it up, you know, get the right team around you, and you're going to, A, have fun. 2, you're going to be able to speed all the stuff up as fast as possible, yeah? So I think that's the way to go. So next question here, I've got wealth creation, a self-managed super fund, asset protection and trust companies, etc., etc. Yeah, look, I mean, to me, the way that we look at things is our long-term strategies are always inside super. And what I love about a super fund, and especially a self-managed super fund, it is the best asset protection vehicle, bar none, in Australia. And what I mean by that is the fact that basically the laws around it, you know, protect it so well. So what you want to look at doing is basically, like with a self-managed super fund, I'll give you an example. If in the course of normal business, right, you go bankrupt, right? So you're you know, trading along, or something happens and you've got to close the business down, and you personally, or the business or the company goes bankrupt, they can't actually touch your super fund, right? And you could have $1, $2, $4, $5, $10 million sitting in your super fund, and they can't touch it. And that's why it's so important. Now, here's the caveat on that. If you turned around and dumped money into it because you knew you were going bankrupt, right, and you wanted to dump all that money in to avoid your creditors, they can actually then take all that money back out of your super fund. So you can't go on ahead and try and rip people off, right? So that's what it is. So you really got to be careful. You've got to make sure that the fact that, you know, the way that you're doing it, and that to me is by far. Now, in terms of, you know, companies and trusts and what have you, a lot of people get confused the fact that they think that a trust can't be sued. Now, a trust can be sued, right? However, the way and the reasons why you sort of structure up the trust is so that you start to, you know, put assets in different trusts. You know, we've got something like 8 or 9 companies in different trusts, etc., because we want to make sure that, you know, if this asset turns to shit, it doesn't affect the rest of them. And that's what we're looking at doing. So, you know, you wouldn't want to have like a risky business sitting in the same trust as all your gold or your shares, you know, and property, etc., etc. So you want to make sure that that risk is spread out over, you know, multiple trusts. Okay. How to step it out simply and easily, a checklist so that I can just take action. You know, that's, you know, maybe, and this one is maybe a mentoring breakfast club, or a way to invest with very little money and make a difference to your life, or a simple budgeting tool. So yeah, like that questions there are basically, you know, what I've been telling you to do throughout this video series. This is a step-by-step process. You know, this is a checklist. Take it out. Go buy 4 shares, go get 3 properties, and you will have a retirement income in 20 years on 115 grand, yeah? What we're gonna do in the next video is show you exactly how, and what you need to do is to speed that up, to give you those budgeting tools, to give you those checklists. That's where you're gonna be able to get all that information in the next one, you know? When do you know it's the right time to take a financial step? Well, there's an old saying that the best time to invest was yesterday, and the next best time to invest is today, right? So the bottom line is you know, January is pretty much gone. You know, I know we're only halfway through, but, you know, you'll wake up tomorrow and it'll be February 1, and you'll be going, holy crap, you know, we've got 11 months left of the year, and before you know it, it's going to be Easter, and then it's going to be Christmas. And I know you're already wanting to throw something, you know, through the camera about me saying that, but look, it's true. You know, when you start to become financially free, you start to control the time more and more and more, and that's the thing that we really love. You know, we're already looking at, you know, we're going, okay, the kids are back at school in 2 weeks. You know, we sort of buckle down a little bit there, and we get a bit more done and all that sort of stuff. stuff. The cool thing about it is the fact that we already know we've got, you know, Bali coming up, we've got Thailand, we've got New York at Christmas, you know, we've already got our big stuff that we're doing, and we've got our little trips as well, you know. Going to, my dad doesn't know this, and I know that he wouldn't be watching this video, so, you know, I know that I'm going to go do a fishing trip in April with him. You know, he loves his fishing, he's bloody half blind. He's been a one-eye, I don't think he's been blind, you know, especially when the All Blacks are playing the Wallabies, you know, he's a Kiwi lad. But anyway, so you, bit of a ramble there. What you need to do, guys, is basically start today. That's the only way to do it. You know, I've been guilty in the past, you know, whether it's doing financial stuff or, you know, I go back to, you know, our health and that, you know, how many times have, you know, we've started everything on a Monday. Well, if you start everything on a Monday, you've got 52 times that you can start something on a Monday throughout a year, and that's it, right? We've already gone through 3 or 4 Mondays now. And what really worries me is the fact that when you start something on a Monday, if you stuff it up on a Tuesday, we seem to wait another frickin' 5 days, you know, 6 days, and then start again on the Monday. So you go to turn to shit, and you just can't do that. All right, you can have one bad thing, and that's about it. You know, I talk about budgeting and stuff. You know, I know people who spend 10, 15, 20, $30 a week on bloody magazines. Now, those magazines frickin' say the same thing, right? Because of the magazines that they're buying. You know, Women's Weekly, New Idea, and I'm not just, you know, saying this is just for that what women do, because I know bloody blokes do it as well. They buy the same frickin' car magazine. It's just got a different bloody heading on it, but they have the same or similar stories. So what you want to do is that's okay, but what I find is if you just bought them every second week, for example, that would speed up your wealth exponentially. What you want to start making sure of things now moving forward is the fact that you don't want to turn around and sink the boat. It's okay if you do something that's going to rock it, as long as it doesn't put a big hole in the bow and you're just going to sink, right? Because when you sink the ship, it can take sometimes 2, 3, 5, 10 years to get that ship out of the water or build a new one or whatever the case may be. Yeah, so you want to start making sure that whatever you're doing is you know, really making sure that your ship stays upright and afloat before you start taking off. Here's with someone that said, you know, I know what I need to do, but I would like to know where to find the properties to buy, right? So look, the bottom line is you need to really start researching, and you've got to spend a lot of time doing that, or you've got to add an expert that knows the properties, knows what the areas are doing, and by getting those as part of your team, you can start to you know, that you can start to rely on their advice. And there's a couple of questions coming up which I think is going to, you know, tie in a few other things about how do you find the right person. This is a good one, you know, how to pay off my mortgage in 5 years. Well, here's the deal, right? If you've got a $300,000 mortgage and you want to pay that off in 5 years, you've got a couple of options. One, you need to find $300,000 over 5 years. Simple as that. There's no smoke and mirrors about that. There's no magic bullets or any of that crap. You need to find $300,000 to pay off a $300,000 mortgage in 5 years. Yeah. Now you can speed up finding $300,000. You can either, you know, which is what this whole video series has been about. It's about doing more, getting more passive income sorted so that you can pay your damn house off in 5 years, right? Things like the auto trading, you know, the shares, you know, if you didn't want to reinvest those dividends, you could get those dividends to help pay off your home loan, you know, all those sorts of things. It's about having an income of, you know, sorry, I'll repeat that, I'll rephrase it. You need an income, a net income, right? So after expenses, after holidays, after school, after business, you need $300,000 over 5 years to dump onto your home loan. Now that's a spare $60,000 a year. So that's what you need to create if you wanted to pay your home loan off. Now there are some sneaky little things that you can reduce the interest, right? But there's still, the bottom line is you need to still find a net $300,000 over 5 years and for you to do that. Yeah, that's how you need to do it. If you owe 500,000, you need to find 500,000. If you owe 100,000, you need to find $100,000. Now we can show you in the next video exactly how you can speed that up and make sure that you do pay your home loan off over 5 years, right? But in reality, that's what you need to do, plain and simple. Yeah. Should I put my mortgage, my money into my mortgage or into my home loan? I'm getting close to retirement age, only 7 years to go. So that's the same deal. I mean, ultimately, I think that I would rather put my money, and this is just me, and this is why I have multiple streams of income. This is why that, you know, whilst we weren't happy that, you know, we lost $1 million through that business, we had $1 million to lose, which was cool. Yeah, kinda. I didn't like the losing part. But the bottom line is the fact that, you know, because we had multiple streams of income, personally what I would do is I would look to build other streams of income and then use those income streams to pay down the debt. Now I'll give you an example. We trialed this ourselves this year. We had a GE credit card. I don't know, those things are crazy percentages, 25, 30% interest. And it was $8,000, and we had a choice. We could either pay that $8,000 off, or we could add it to an investment and see what it does with that. Look, long story short, 9 months later, we made $8,000 on this investment, and we dumped it on the GE, and the card disappeared. Yeah, and we still had the original capital that we had from this investment as well. So not only is the card gone, but we still have this income that we created by, instead of dumping the money into the GE card, we now have it sitting over here now continually making us money. So that's what I would do. All right. I thought I'm going to read this whole one out because I thought it was fantastic, and I've seen this a lot. So hello Mark, you're a financial planner, yeah? Brackets, that's not my question. I worked for a very large financial planning group for a few years. Behind the scenes, I witnessed the planners making fun, criticizing and gossiping about personal information about their clients. I would see them laughing, being sarcastic, then greeting their clients with a big handshake and a fake smile when they came around the corner. I also heard them lie to clients, and they would speak in a derogatory manner. If a prospective client had nothing, it's not worth my time. I felt so bad. So my question is, if I decided to go to a financial planner, how do I know the planner I disclose all my personal financial information will be trustworthy and respectful? I know this question is preventing me from contacting any financial planner. Thank you, name, yeah? And look, the funny thing is I've got pages here about, you know, who do I go and trust, all that sort of stuff. So I thought that one really hit home because you know, and a lot of my clients know this. I don't hire my clients on their money. I hire them on their attitude, because if they've got the right attitude, they can make their own money, and that's what I really look for. So and the way that the government has set up the financial planning industry, you know, where I did a post the other, you know, not so long ago. 85% of all financial advisors in this country work either directly or indirectly for the big 6 banks, right? Now that's ridiculous. 85% of them. So there's only 15% of them that actually do not work for a big institution, and I would say that. You know, then there would be a percentage of those that have their own agendas, right? And I mean, look, we all have agendas, you know, whether you're a mechanic, your agenda is to find more clients, to fix their cars, to, you know, pay the family, etc., etc., etc. So that's the, you know, my goal and my agenda is to give you enough education so that no matter whatever you choose to do, it's the right thing for you because you made the decision. But we've given you all the tools and all the information for you to make that decision, whatever that is, yeah? So, and it's sad because I've been around advisors as well. You know, I've been in this industry a bloody long time now, and you catch up at the odd conference. But to be honest with you, I haven't been for an advisor conference now for about 3 years because I got sick of that same shit. You know, they talk about, you know, I'm only going after people who have $500,000 or $1 million, you know, to make it worth my while. And I go, you know what, guys? The people that actually need advice and education right now are the mums and dads, you know, the people that don't have $500,000. So it's my goal to turn around and say and get you guys educated, give you the tools, give you the people that you can talk to so that you can go and make that $500,000. Then I hope what you do is you actually, you know, if an advisor's ever turned you down and you think it's because you didn't have enough, you're good to go, but you know, you don't want to waste your energy on the bastards that go back and shove it up their, you know, up their noses to go, hey, I've got the money now, but you can get stuffed. It's, you know, sometimes you just want to do that, don't you? You just go, man, I want to get you back, dude. But you know, why waste the energy? Yeah, it's just, you might as well just focus on really good stuff and make it happen. So look, so I actually personally replied to that one, because I felt that there's some things you want to do, you know, get referrals from your family and friends and talk to their advisors, you know, have a look around, interview 2 or 3, make sure that you're going to be right with the right people. I find that the fact that, you know, when I'm chatting to people, I'm the one, I believe, that's doing the hiring, not the other way around. You know, but I'm telling you guys to look to hire me. And like I said, the reason why is because I want to work with the right people. I want to work with, you know, people that have the right attitude, you know. And I've got clients who have no money right now, and you know, we've you know, I love them to bits, and they're fantastic, and you know, they're doing exactly what they're told. You know, we recently raised, you know, just because we can, we raised, I think it was $1,000 they needed to buy a printing machine, and you know, we raised that, you know, and they're just, yeah, they're just getting, you know, that little bit closer, to getting to where it is they want to be, and you know, that's what we want to be for. So you want to, you know, really. Oh, and actually they don't know this, or they will when they log in, but their investment that we recommended has gone up by 40%, which is so cool, man. It's so cool. So basically, you know, you want to just do some research, you know, talk with people that are actually practicing what they're preaching, you know. You know, talk to an advisor who is actually going to recommend either businesses or property. You know, I believe, you know, those 2 investment classes, because they are assets or asset classes, they are the ones that really are by far the best. They're the ones where I've made all my money. I park my money in property, and then I've diversified into the gold, the shares, the auto trading, more businesses. Yeah, it's a passion of mine. So let's you know, let's go for that. So that's what it is. Yeah. You know, same deal. How do you know what is a good deal and what looks like it is, and what looks like it is being sold by a shark? Right. So look, yeah, look, I think if you followed me for a while now, you would have sort of heard me talk about the Gladstone effect. You know, there's I get so many emails these days that you know, say, hey, and their first words are, you know, good commissions. You know, I go, man, if it's a really good investment, who gives a shit about the commission that's in it? It's about you know, it's about the numbers. It's about what it looks like. And you know, look, I think one of the first questions you should ask is, you know, what are they getting paid? You know, and let them be upfront. I actually had a client the other day say, Mark, you know, what do you get paid out of this this recommendation? And it was a property, and I actually said to him, look, I don't know. It's normally around here and here, because I hadn't actually asked that question to the guy who was selling it, and the reason being is because it doesn't matter to me. The property was bloody good. There were some good incentives to buy it. Now, you know, there was no stamp. The developer was paying the stamp duty. It was just, you know, all the numbers and the research and everything that I look for, or asked my team to look for. It was all there. It was fantastic, right? And so whatever we get paid at the back end is, who cares? Yeah, I hope that made sense. So yeah, really, you know, I know that there's people out there that are, you know, selling property, and they've only got 1 or 2 properties. Now, I don't necessarily think that, you know, the number of properties or the number of investments matters per se as to what that guy is selling, because there are guys out there that I think make better coaches than they do make better players. Yeah. You could take Wayne Bennett, for example. Yeah, you know, I've never seen him play, but I've heard he was an okay player, probably average at best. But man, you've got to say that, you know, in rugby league, he's the best coach that you know, that has ever been produced. And you know, you might want to go and bring in a New South Wales one there, but you know, I think, you know, hands down, he is by far the best coach we've had. So, you know, that's the sort of stuff. Thanks, Wind. That's the sort of stuff that we want to, you want to talk about, you know, that's, you know, so really, you know, really just go for those ones that are definitely practicing what they're preaching. You know, I'm preaching multiple streams of income, and I'm practicing multiple streams of income. And, you know, that's the cool things. I'm telling you to get your foundations in place. I'm telling you to build your team around you. I'm telling you to do all that because that's what I've done. That's what I'm here to help you guys do. Yeah. Couple last questions, guys. I like this one. How do you get over the fear of investing because it feels like you are a blind man in the casino? How do you read the reports and understand them without needing a degree in commerce? Look, that's fantastic. First of all, you know, the fear of investing definitely comes down to mindset, and we're going to help you and show you how you can get over those fears. You know, a lot of the time you definitely just got to make a step, right? And if you're absolutely shit scared, just take the smaller steps, you know, buy some shares and, you know, do the long-term safe sort of strategies to kick it off, to get over that fear and then move forward. You know, we've got some experts who can get rid of that fear out of you in a heartbeat, and you're running 100 miles an hour, right? Look, reports are definitely, they're an acquired taste. You know, I've got a good skill set that allows you to, allows me to take all the stuff that's in a report and give it to you in layman's terms, you know, something that we can all understand, you know, when I used to do a lot of home loans for my clients, you know, I used to be able to take bankanese and translate it into something that in English, you know, that we can all understand. So yeah, it's a good one. You know, again, when you've got the right team around you, you basically, they're the ones who are gonna, you know, get the guts of it and tell you to read page 5 and highlight this point and da. And that's the key about it. And I know I've harped a little bit on about team here, but you can't do this yourself, you know, or if you can, it's going to take you forever. And, you know, we'll be well and truly financially free sitting on beaches, you know, doing all the cool stuff that we want to do. So that's, so that's the last of it. But I just wanted to, I like this one here. It's the last one. This was one just only a couple of days ago, and I loved it because, you know, I'm getting a lot of great feedback, you know, personal texts, personal private messages on Facebook. Hey, don't forget to use the comments as well, you know, on them as well. You know, put all the good stuff in the comments, PM me the bad stuff. But this is an email I got the other day. I feel quite pumped about your second video and the advice contained. I have a wealth account, but it's in the US. I'm going to take your advice and set up a local one and use it to buy shares every time it gets to a certain level. You know, it's super easy, yeah? And wondering why I didn't think of it myself. Cool, that's okay, you're getting there now. So, it was my way of saying your video gave me the nudge I needed to get started. Fantastic, my job's done. I'm off to have a beer now, yeah? Not quite. Okay, the question then becomes, when is it time to buy some shares? Can I obtain your advice, or where should I go and who should I see? With work, I don't have the time, nor the inclination, nor the knowledge to start researching the stock market. I'd rather pay someone to give me a few names to choose from, then I'm happy to monitor the progress of those companies. So when we're talking about, and I'm just do the 4 share strategy, right? I mean, the bottom line is I love it. You know, this person's already admitted she doesn't have the time or the knowledge. Cool. So when you're doing a long-term strategy, you're doing the reinvestment plan, you really just are looking for blue chip shares and ones and companies that have the dividend reinvestment plan. And if you pick, you know, literally you could almost pick from the top 10, 20, even 50 on the Australian Stock Exchange, for example, and you pretty much can't go wrong with those because, you know, I used to, you know, in my 4 share strategy, I weight pretty heavily in 2 banks. And the reason why is because I look at it this way. You know, if those 2 banks go under, right? I think in Australia we've got bigger things to worry about than whatever you've got invested in those banks, because we've got one of the most flexible and solid banking industries in the world. You know, it's been the, you know, the 4-pillar process for you know, 50 years, and so if they go under, you know, don't worry about it. You know, I used to, you know, tongue in cheek saying, you know, we're probably shooting rabbits for food in the hills. Indonesia's built a navy and they're coming south. So, you know, it's that's what we've got to be, you know, that's the stuff you got to think about. So any of those ones you're going to do okay in, you know, then yeah, surely you can come and pay advice. Going to show you how you can get that advice tomorrow in the next video. But yeah, so hey, I hope that was useful. You know, this one was a real long one, but I answered, you know, as many questions as I possibly could, because that's what, you know, that's what this one's about. You just needed to get all those ones out, and all that sort of stuff, guys. So hey, thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll speak to you in the next video. See you then.